Welcome to Wednesday's edition of Big Blue Kickoff Live here on Giants.com. We'll be here for the next hour to take your phone calls about Giants football, maybe some NFL things if you'd like to chat as well. Our phone number is 201-939-4513, 201-939-4513. I'm Paul Dottino. He is Jonathan Casillas, former Giants linebacker and two-time Super Bowl champion. Jay Casillas, 52?
Yes, sir.
Giants WFAN, if you want to get us up on Twitter. Remember, this show and all of our other shows on Giants.com are always available on the Giants archive and as part of the Giants' entire podcast network through the Giants mobile app and podcast platforms everywhere, as well as Giants.com/podcast. Jonathan, we got a question today. You know, I was kind of thinking this is the black hole of the NFL schedule, right, where there's really not a whole lot going on. And by the way, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't want headlines because usually they're bad at this time of year. So I said to myself, you know, let me think about something that might get the fans thinking a little bit because there's not much to think about. So what I want to know is if the Giants had a starting five basketball team, okay, which of those Giants would be on that starting five? Now, I didn't go too deep into the research because I had a gut feeling about a couple guys right away.
Right, yep.
And then I started thinking, well, let me try to give it a little more thought about the skill set because I want two guards, two forwards, and a center, okay? I don't want five guards, okay? Don't give me that. Some conferences vote for an all-conference team, and they just pick the five best players, and they don't care what position they are.
Right.
You got to give me five positions, the standard, two forwards, two guards, and a center. And I started thinking about this, and I said, okay, you know what? There's a few easy ones, a few really, really easy ones. And I jotted them down, and then I tried to give a little more extra thought to some of the others, and I came up with a starting five. There were a few alternates that I had. I will confess.
Yep.
I had a couple that I was shuffling with. I will give you folks out there one of my starting five. Jonathan, you'll give me one of your starting five. And I want to open up the phone calls, the phones at 201-939-4513. And again, Giants football is an open board for you folks, as well as other NFL topics if you have one. But I want to have a little fun with this too. And give me at least one of your starting five on your Giants basketball team. Now, I'll give you my easiest one, the one that is so obvious I just could not help but start with him, and that's Daniel Jones.
Okay.
Daniel Jones is going to be my two guard.
Okay, that's what I got him at two.
Okay.
I got him at the two.
Okay.
See, I don't like where this is going. I feel like I said three. It might be four, maybe 4 or 5 guys in the same
so?
Between me and you, Paul. I don't know, man.
You tell me why Daniel Jones is on your team.
Well, number one, his length. Right, I think he can play that position very well. Like he's a prototypical type of size, weight as a strong two guard. Right, he's not the tallest, but his size and he can hold up. I think against taller guys, 6'8", because the NBA they're 6'8", 6'9", two guards.
6'5", 230. Just for you folks out
solid.
there, 6'5", 230.
He's solid. And I think he has a jump shot. I think he's a guy that can shoot the ball very well, and I think he's going to make great decisions. And I don't think he's just a catch and shoot guy. I think he's a guy to be able to create his own shot as well.
I definitely think.
And I think he'll play good defense too.
I think so. Mm-hmm. He has the length.
Two-way player.
Okay, so he's got the length.
Yep.
He's got the athleticism. He's got some strength and some size to him. I also believe he's got the smarts, Duke.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And most of all, he played pickup games with R.J. Barrett.
Okay.
Okay.
See, that's that inside information that I didn't have.
Well,
I wasn't privy to that.
He's got to be good.
Yeah.
He couldn't even get on the floor with R.J.
But that's so funny. He's my two. I got him as my two. I'm scared about this list. I want to hear what everybody else says.
Maybe we should have drafted.
Pearson, you got a two guard you want to throw out there?
Don't say Daniel Jones.
Yeah, no, I can't.
You can't say Daniel Jones.
My two guard, I'll go Darius Slayton.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take
That's
him.
not bad.
Yep.
All right.
He's what, 6'1.5"?
Right, not that big of a, not that tall of a guy.
6'1". I'd like my two guard to be a little bit taller, have a little more length. but not a bad selection.
Yep.
Not a bad selection, Darius Slayton. But so I went with Daniel Jones first up. And the other thing, quite frankly, you're right about the defense. I do think that Daniel Jones would be in the right place at the right time. I think he would be the kind of guy who could also be a potential shot blocker at the 2 spot. We're on help defense. I think he could get up there and get a hand on the ball. So I think Daniel Jones would be a really, really good 2 guard. And I have a hunch. If we asked him, he would probably say that would be his spot.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he kind of has that prototypical size, especially like if he would have played at Duke. If he would have played both sports at Duke, he would have been prototypical college size, maybe a little bit bigger, heavier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wasn't as heavy as he was in Duke as he is now.
No,
he packed on a little bit of weight, given that he's
has.
a dual threat quarterback,
Yeah.
Now. But yeah, I think he has that size, and then I don't know his game. You got, some stories about
No, I really don't.
Rumors.
No, I really don't. I just know that, like, for example, when he got here and he got to visit the Garden a couple of times, he's a Duke guy. RJ Barrett's a Duke guy. So he was here. RJ was here with the Knicks, and he has been seen at Knicks games. And I'm told that he has done shoot-arounds and been on the court with RJ, and they've dabbled a bit.
Yeah.
So it just seems so natural to me. Now, again, I'm a Knicks fan. You guys know that. I'm a huge Knicks fan, diehard since the Red Holtzman days. So that kind of added to it for me.
I got you. But yeah, I think when I think of Daniel Jones, first of all, I think of a leader. I think he's a guy that, I think he's put this team on his back. We saw that last year, especially the playoff game. His play later in the season got better. You want your 2 guard to do that. No matter how you start off, when you start getting close to those playoffs, you want your 2 guard, your scorer, your guy, your leader. You want them playing at a high level, and I think that's Daniel Jones. And the two-way part, I think he'll be a guy that can grab boards, offensively and defensive boards. I think he'll be able to guard not only the guards, but also some forwards and kind of guard at least 3 to 4 positions on the court with his length and his physicality.
He might be pretty good with a trap, too.
Right. I'm saying he might be a guy that can actually go and play, like you said, with RJ Barrett and go do a pickup game for the Summer League in the NBA.
Would not surprise me.
Yeah.
And also, let's add other qualities. Toughness.
Yep.
Okay.
Check.
I don't think there's any doubt about that because, he's tough. And I believe also he's got guts.
Yeah.
It's not just being tough.
Yep.
Physically.
And he's an
tough,
athlete.
Tough is physical.
Yep.
Guts is mental.
Yeah. He's one of those underrated athletes. When you look at him, maybe not look like too much, maybe like an Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves came in games for the Lakers this year. Who is Austin Reeves? If you're not a big basketball guy, who is Austin Reeves? Who is this guy? Baller. Straight baller. That's, I think, Daniel Jones kind of fit into that mold.
All right, so we both went Daniel Jones at the 2-guard spot. We're going to hold off on a couple of the other positions right now. Hopefully you guys have some suggestions. 201-939-4513. Again, we can talk Giants football. I have no problem doing that. That's what this show's all about. But I thought we'd also have some fun today. So we're just going to
talk Giants basketball.
Talk a little Giants basketball. Why? Well, years ago, and this is way before your time, the Giants had a basketball team during the offseason.
Who do they play?
They played charity games.
Okay.
This is before, obviously, the business of the NFL became so huge that guys did not want to play basketball in the offseason for fear they'd get hurt.
Yep.
Okay, but the Giants used to have, and maybe some of your old-time fans out there, if you've gone to some of those games, you want to give us a call with a story.
I would love to hear.
I would love to hear some of those stories,
Yep.
too. And what would happen is, because Lawrence Taylor played in a couple of those games.
I bet.
Oh, yeah.
I bet.
And he was always...
No fouls or fouls? Because if there was a foul limit, I'm pretty sure he got fouled out a lot of games.
Well, yeah, but who's going to have the guts to foul out Lawrence Taylor? What are you, nuts? Who's gonna blow the whistle on him?
Oh, that's hilarious.
But when Lawrence played, he played for real.
Oh, yeah. I would
he
think
wasn't.
so.
Yeah, he wasn't goofing. In fact, to finish the story, what they would do is they would put together a team and they would play charity events around local high schools and local colleges against athletic groups, YMCA groups, teachers sometimes at the school would put together a team. And they would charge like $5 for tickets, and it would go to the charity or the school association. This went on. This was back in the, I want to say in the 70s into maybe the early to mid 80s, and then it all stopped.
Yeah.
Because now the business of the league got so big that players were not going to risk getting hurt in the offseason playing a charity basketball game.
Yeah.
And that went away.
Yep.
So that's unfortunate.
But it makes sense, though, because the risk of injury on the basketball court, I feel like, is very high, even if you're not really going that hard. You know, which most charity games, most guys are not going that hard unless they get some solid competition, maybe some smack talking going on, and all of a sudden, the fourth quarter, they're getting after it. They're throwing elbows and everything.
They were athletes.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know.
The competitive nature, it doesn't die.
All of a sudden, you go
Like,
up for a rebound.
I'm retired.
And now you twist a knee or an ankle.
Right. I'm retired 6 years, 5-6 years now. I still got the competitive nature in me.
Yeah.
So these are guys that are playing ball. So it's literally in them. There's no way that they're not trying to get after it, especially when they get some good competition. Playing against teachers and maybe students for the charity stuff. But when they get some guys, maybe they played against some cops. And, you know, cops, they're not going to lose anything, you know. So I'm sure, and I would love if there's anybody out there, any callers that, you know, longtime Giants fans that participated possibly in the game.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe.
You know, or was at the game and watched it, because I want to hear about who were the great athletes that participated, and maybe some guys were doing some dunks back in the day.
A lot of times, you know, you'd only see maybe one or two of your higher profile players. It was mostly your backup guys, because they were had more time on their hands, and they were more willing to do it, because obviously your higher profile players were getting paid more. They didn't want to take the risk.
Yep.
So you wouldn't see a lot of those. But yeah, LT did play in some of those games. Now, there was a basketball rim. Now, you don't remember the old Giant Stadium. You weren't here for that.
But I'm from Jersey, so I do remember the
You
Meadowlands.
remember it, but you didn't play in it.
Nope.
Okay. Now, underneath, in the bowels of the stadium, underneath the stands, which is where the service area was, which is the tunnel where the players' locker room was. Outside the players' locker room in the old Giant Stadium, they painted a key with a foul line, you know, and they put up a basket with a backboard, and guys would just, like, you know, afterwards they would shoot.
Put some shots up.
Until Lawrence Taylor decided one day that he was going to show everybody, and he was challenged about making a spectacular dunk. He destroyed the rim. He bent that thing so bad that...
and this is no breakaway, right? This is like the solid iron rims.
Solid iron rim.
Iron rims that don't bend or break.
Solid iron rim with a hard wood backboard, you know, anchored into the stadium wall. The whole thing didn't come down. The rim just became an absolute mess.
Yeah.
Kind of like a coat hanger that was mangled.
Right. Ooh. I could just imagine. How much did LT weigh? Like, he was like 230,
235.
235. So he wasn't a huge guy. Powerful, though.
Tremendous power quotient for his size.
Yeah, powerful and violent, right? So I would think, because when I played high school, I wasn't that big. But when I played high school ball, when I dunked the basketball, I dunked powerfully and violently.
I believe
got texts. Because I used to dunk.
Do we have a photo proof?
I got video. There's video.
You do?
There's video. Yeah, I got video out there.
I need to see this.
Yeah, I caught alley-oop. Yeah, but
Nice.
So I grew up in New Jersey, for you guys that don't know. I mean, we talk about this all the time. I wear a lot of Jersey shirts on the show. New Brunswick. And my junior year, we won a state championship. And our best player, football and basketball, was Dwayne Jarrett. You know, he went on to USC.
Yeah.
A stud on both the court and also the field as well. And in the state championship game against Rawway had Earl Clark. He played for the Lakers for a long time. And he was a sophomore, 6'8" point guard. Earl Clark in high school.
Whoa.
6'8" point guard. Rawway had a roster. They had a good group of guys. We had a very similar group of guys. You know, Dwayne Jarrett kind of matching Earl Clark. Earl Clark wasn't the Earl Clark of the NBA quite yet. Still figuring out himself. So he wasn't kicking our, you know, tails as a sophomore, you know, as you would probably think an NBA player would do, right? So we got like a 6-7 point lead, like 4 or 5 point lead at the end of the game. And Donald Carson, he was one of our guards. He gets a steal, like 3 seconds left. and I'm running on the breakaway. Like I'm running and he's running and he looks back, he sees me and he throws it off the backboard. And when I say I tomahawked this thing with 2 hands, like I jumped the highest I possibly could. I dunked as hard as I possibly could and the game was over and everybody ran on the court. And it was named GMC Middlesex Conference Dunk of the Year. Yep.
And this is the video you have?
I don't have that video. Oh, I wish I did. But I got a similar video with me catching alley-oop off the backboard. Yeah.
See, now
I can bring it up. It's somewhere on the iPad. I got to figure out where it's at.
If we had the video of this game-winning dunk, we would have seen and heard you screaming for the ball the whole time.
Epic. You know what? It's just this. The point up. All my dunkers out there, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It's this. You point, he sees you. Okay, good. It's coming up. You know,
right.
But that's what. Look, for me, I started playing football as a freshman.
Right.
Before that, I was a straight basketball player. You know, my dad, Flash Gordon from Jersey City, he's a basketball player. You know, like a street ball legend. You know, my dad. You know, so I always played basketball. But I started to transition after my sophomore year in football. I broke my arm at the semifinal game in the playoffs for football. And you know how late that is.
Oh, yeah.
That's right before basketball season.
Yeah.
So I basically missed my whole sophomore year.
Wow.
And then when I came back, I really was focused on football. So then when I came back my junior year, I wasn't that same guard. I was bigger, stronger, maybe more explosive, but I wasn't as fluid with the ball in my hands anymore. So I ended up playing more of a power forward, 3 guard, 3 forward position, even center sometimes. But I could do everything. I can dribble the ball. I was able to guard anybody on the court. I could jump with anybody. I mean, I probably averaged 12 rebounds a game my senior year.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, see, now, Pearson, I had no idea when I came up with this question he would be so into basketball.
Yeah, that's why when you said it, I said, oh, yeah. But I didn't have no time to really do my research on these guys.
I didn't do a ton of research
because I'm
either.
sure there's a stud that we don't have on our list.
Oh, I bet
that's
there
better
is.
than everybody in this facility.
And if we pass this around the locker room, I guarantee you that there would be some friendly competition going on for guys saying, I need to be on that list.
Absolutely. There are going to be some rebuttals as well, too.
There would be. And be prepared. We may hear some rebuttals by the time we put our 5s together. All right, so 201-939-4513. Our phone lines are open. So, again, talking Giants football, talking NFL football, and we want to hear about your starting 5 basketball team off the New York Giants current roster. Don't give me anything from the past. We're going to go current today. Only current. It's hard enough, to have to try to pick 5 guys.
Can we get one guy throughout the history of the New York Giants that you think could be one of the better basketball players that ever played football?
Well, how could I not say LT? Because he could have been the best at anything he wanted.
Yeah, you thinking LT off the rip, not even thinking about it.
Lawrence was so incredible as an athletic specimen and had such desire and competitiveness. I truly believe that anything he wanted to do, he could kick somebody's butt.
Dang. And he was
Seriously.
6'2"?
Lawrence, he was about 6'3", 6'3" and a half, and 235. Now remember when he played, guards weren't as big as they are today.
Mm-hmm.
You got 6'4", 6'5" guards today, which is like nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Back in those days,
he was about average size for a guard. Basically.
He could have. He could have easily. Now,
and he had size.
He had size, and he was quick.
Yeah.
I just any sport you want to play. If I'm picking Lawrence Taylor on my team, I'm feeling like I'm going to be okay. That's all I'm going to say.
I got a name that played for the Giants. He spent not too much time here, but he was a draft pick. He's from Wisconsin. He went to school with me as well. Travis Beckham. He was an All-American tight end at Wisconsin, but when they brought him in, he was a linebacker at Wisconsin. And he was just an all-around great athlete. Myself, Travis Beckham, DeAndre Levy, who played for the Lions for a long time, Shane Carter, who was Chris Carter's younger brother, Carter of the Vikings.
Yes.
And it was a couple more guys that we would play with, but that was like, we used to go to this, we used to live at Ogg Hall across the street. We were across the street from the Kohl Center, which is the basketball arena.
Okay.
Right next to the Kohl Center was the surf. That was like the gym, and they had all the gyms, the workout center for the student body. And that's where we would go pick pickup games at. And our freshman years, we all played basketball in high school. So we all had that itch to kind of go put some shots up and get after it. And we would run some games up there with Travis, myself, Shane, DeAndre Levy. And man, you talk about like football players that can run, jump, of course, play defense and move their feet.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, we all had like great chemistry together too. So like we would run guys all the time. Like only times we would lose if some of those reserved basketball players from the team that was like maybe not getting as much burn during the season, they would come hoop and they would give us some real good competition.
Okay, well,
they would give us some real good
stay
competition.
Humble now. You gotta stay humble.
Of course. But we're running the Wisconsin student body. Like we're kicking all of those guys' tails for sure.
I think if you had to put the all-time Giants roster on the board, the best basketball player would have been George Martin, the defensive end.
Wow, yeah.
Now, George had over 90 career sacks with the Giants, came into the league in 1975, drafted in the 12th round out of Oregon, where he was a college basketball player.
Okay.
He played NCAA basketball. Okay. Came to the Giants and became a star defensive end for a lot of years. Had double-digit sacks like 3 times in his career. Played it almost 14 years.
Matthias Kiwanuka, did he play basketball at BC?
I don't know if he actually played regular D1. Right. I don't think he did.
Because he went to BC, right? He was a Boston
He went to
College
BC.
guy, right?
He went to BC.
I feel like he was a tall, long guy that could possibly been.
I don't think he played D1 though. I don't think so. I stand corrected if it's wrong. So Matthias, no disrespect intended. If you did, you did. I would say though, from my offhand knowledge, we always remember when George was drafted out of Oregon. Everybody was like, well, this guy was a basketball player, but he knew that he would never reach the heights in basketball that he would in football. Mm-hmm. So when he got drafted by the Giants, he immediately went NFL. Yeah. And of course, was one of the great Giants defensive ends of all time. Mm-hmm. In fact, his name is in the Ring of Honor, and deservedly so, number 75. So in any event, if I had to go all time, he would be the best guy, but I simply, from an emotional standpoint, like I said, I can never pick against Lawrence Taylor in anything. And you don't want to either, for fear that he would beat the living stuffing out of you, okay? Let me make that very clear.
I got you.
201-939-4513 is our phone number. Make sure you go to and subscribe to the Giants Huddle podcast. Features all kinds of interviews with Giants coaches, players, front office people, past and present. We also get analysts from places like the NFL Network on that show. Go to Giants Huddle when you find it. Make sure you hit favorites or likes. Give it a positive review, and that helps us keep the program alive.
The most recent one, Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor. So that's a good one to go listen to.
And Pearson is the producer, and he puts that stuff up on the site. So if there are any problems, give him a call. We'll give you his cell phone number. It's okay. We won't give you his cell phone number.
I was like, Pearson, you're giving out the cell phone?
Giants single tickets and season tickets are available for the 2023 schedule. Don't forget, you can go to Giants, see the Giants at MetLife Stadium this season by visiting giants.com/tickets to secure your seat. For season ticket memberships, you can learn more about exclusive membership benefits by visiting giants.com/tickets. Limited inventory is available there as well. And then finally, the Giants TV streaming app brings original video content and game highlights on demand direct to Big Blue fans. Giants TV is free on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, as well as the Giants mobile app. As you can tell, folks, I like to get those promos out of the way real quick. I ad-lib them a lot because we want to hear from you. 201-939-4513. We go to line 1. Eric in North Dakota. You are first on Big Blue Kickoff Live.
Hey, how you doing, guys? How's everything going?
Hi, good to talk to you. How are you?
Well, Eric.
Good. Hey, I have a question on those Barkley. What do you guys think about Barkley signing a long-term contract?
Well, let's make something clear, okay? There are 2 deadlines you have to be worried about with Saquon Barkley. July 17th is the deadline for him to sign a new multi-year agreement. If he doesn't, then the only deal he can sign with the Giants is the 1-year tag. He has until week 10 of the NFL season to do that. Otherwise, he is forced not to play for 2023. So those are the 2 deadlines in play, okay? It's always been my take, since even going back to last season, that Barkley will sign the multi-year deal probably on July 17th. Yeah. And if for some reason he does not, and I would be very surprised, he will wind up then signing the tag probably a week before opening day, miss most of training camp, but be here one way or another for the opener against the Dallas Cowboys. I know that is mostly what you think, but not quite.
Yeah, it is mostly what I think. I just don't think it's non-existent that he won't play this year. I think it's a very small percent. It might be under 3%, but that's still something.
That's pretty small.
That's still something, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's still something. That's a lot more than I thought a few months ago. And I'm just trying to gather information, and listen to what he's been saying, and think about, where the Giants are at and how they regard him.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like literally trying to listen to what Saquon's saying, and I'm actually cool with some of his people in his camp, and not saying they told me anything. I'm not saying that, but I'm just talking to them. They don't give too much information out anyway. He has a good team. But, just kind of feeling, the temperature, I just feel that he feels some type of way about not even having a deal right now. And if they don't work out that deal, he's definitely going to feel some type of way. And I'm just saying, I just don't think it's 100% that he's going to sign that franchise tag, because he's going to sign it unhappy when he does it. I don't think he's going to be happy when he does it. But like we talked about, was it last week? I don't mind an angry Saquon playing for the New York Giants this year, trying to prove a point. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I think he'll make everybody happy playing angry, playing like he has a point to prove.
Well, he tried to prove a point last year, and he did.
And he did.
He is still one of the premier backs in this game.
Absolutely.
And if he has to prove something again this year, I'm sure he'll do it.
Yep.
He won't back down from a challenge.
No, sir.
We know that.
Not at all.
I mean, look at what he came back from with career-threatening injuries. So, Eric, is that all?
Also, the last one I have here for you guys. What do you think about Eli Manning's retiring his jersey as a Giant? Is that ever going to happen?
They already did.
Oh, the Giants jersey got retired?
Yes, it's number 10 is retired.
Okay. All right. That's all, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
I mean,
201-939-4513.
That's a given, right? That was a given for Eli, of course.
There was no question. I mean, from the very get-go, when he walked off the field for the last time, it was kind of unofficially retired.
Yeah.
And then a short while later, he had his press conference, and John Mara said at that press conference, no one's ever going to wear number 10 again.
Yep. I have a question for you real quick. We might not even have time for this. Maybe this could be for another show, but...
Well, then don't ask it now.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool. We'll do that.
If you want to save it for another show, save it for
We'll do that. We'll do that.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Okay.
We'll do that.
And by the way, just for you young folks who don't remember, the Giants had two other really great all-star players wear number 10 many years before Eli. That'd be Brad Van Pelt,
the linebacker,
who went to five Pro Bowls. Nothing to sneeze at. Jesse Armstead went to 5 Pro Bowls too. Let's not forget that. That's a pretty impressive feat to do. And of course, Fran Tarkenton.
Yep.
Tarkenton went to a couple Pro Bowls with the Giants too before he was traded back to the Vikings. When I grew up, number 10 was Tarkenton.
Right.
And then when Van Pelt got his number, I was like, oh, we got Fran's number. But then he went to 5 Pro Bowls, and I was like, oh, he's okay.
And then Eli got the number. What did you feel about that when he first got the number, when he first got here?
It didn't really have much of an emotional impact on me because Eli came with such high expectations. It wasn't like he was just somebody.
Yeah.
He was somebody who was supposed to be really, really good.
Right.
Turned out to be even better than
pretty
that.
good. He had my question about that and the whole him not signing with San Diego when they drafted him, coming to New York, did New York feel some type of way? Or they were happy that he said, I'm coming to New York instead of San Diego?
No, the fan base understood that, Ernie Accorsi was hell-bent on getting Eli Manning. And I don't want fans, if you want to chime in on this too, it was always my opinion that people trusted Ernie. Ernie had a pretty good track record. He had been part of some winning football teams over the years. And I think that the fans trusted Ernie that if you think this is the best quarterback in the draft, remember Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger were also taken in the first round that year. That's a hell of a threesome.
Yes, sir.
Hell of a threesome.
Yep.
All 3 of them are going to go to Canton.
Yep.
Okay? All 3 of them. Rivers being the 3rd guy on the list.
Yeah, because he lacks hardware, but not statistics.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. So, I always got the impression from the vet. I will tell you, full disclosure, Jonathan, and I don't know if we've ever had this conversation before, I was against the deal for Eli Manning.
Well, that's kind of the question I was asking you. Like, what was that about? What was your resignation about it?
Well, I believed in Kerry Collins.
Okay.
Kerry Collins was here, had taken the Giants to a couple playoff appearances, had gone to a Super Bowl where they got whacked by the Ravens in Super Bowl 35. But I thought Kerry Collins was good enough to get him back again.
Yeah.
I really did. And so, in my opinion, I wanted Robert Gallery in that draft.
Okay.
Who the offensive lineman who was taken by the Raiders, who had an okay career.
Iowa?
Yeah, okay career. Did not really pan out to be worth that high a pick. I was hoping that they would make a move and try to get Gallery. And instead, they wound up making the trade. They wound up getting Eli. I thought that Kerry Collins was a high-quality quarterback who had proven he could succeed in New York, gotten them to a championship level, and to be frank with you, had more years left. It turned out I was right in that he did have more years left. He went on for many, many years in the NFL, started for a few teams, put up some pretty good numbers. Kerry could still play. I think he's one of the more underrated quarterbacks of that decade. He could throw it. He had a gun. Okay? In fact, to be frank with you, I think you can make a very strong case that he had the strongest arm that the Giants have ever had.
Wow.
He could really, really sling it.
Right.
And, so I was a Kerry guy, and I felt that because of his lack of mobility, if they had strengthened their offensive line between having him, Tiki in the backfield, Amani Toomer leading the way at wide receiver, they were going to be okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to just beef up the line and let Kerry have another run.
Yep.
So, and going into that draft, I thought Ben Roethlisberger, of the three quarterbacks, I thought he was the best quarterback.
Out of the three.
Out of the three.
Rivers and Eli.
I did.
Wow.
I did.
He was good. Miami of Ohio, he was really good. He was very solid. But I guess what brought him down a little bit because he played at Miami of Ohio, not
level of
Ole
comp.
Miss, not SEC.
Level of comp.
Big competition school.
But he was bigger than Eli. And you know how I always feel about the bigger guys, bigger, stronger, faster.
Both got two Super Bowls, though. They both won two.
No question.
Yeah.
No question. But he was bigger. And I just thought bigger, stronger, more durable. I think this, that's probably the best quarterback in this draft. So I graded Ben the highest. And there were some people in the Giants organization who also graded Ben the highest, but not Ernie. Ernie thought Eli was the best. And that's why he went hard after him. So he gets him. And in retrospect, I have always said this as well. Not only was my opinion turned out to be incorrect, but all three of the quarterbacks landed where they had to land.
Yeah.
I truly believe had any of those three been in one of the other spots, they would not have had the career that they had. I believe that. Ben would not have succeeded in New York. Eli would not have succeeded as well as he did if he had been in San Diego or in Pittsburgh. And Phillip Rivers would not have put forth the career he had he been in Pittsburgh or New York. All three guys landed in the perfect situation to maximize their potential. And that's why all three are going to be Hall of Famers.
I would say I agree with that, but you just don't know. You just never know.
It's hypothetical.
It is hypothetical, but I like that point. When you were talking about Kerry Collins, real quick, I have a story real quick because we got to give the rest of our starting five out.
Wow, 201-939-4513. Please call us up.
I played softball with Tiki for the WFAN softball Tiki Tyranny game, and first of all, it was a whole bunch of guys, two pulled hamstrings, Tierney being one of them. He made a great play, but he pulled his hamstring. Tiki Barber had an amazing play, laid out fully horizontally with the ground, perpendicular to the ground, parallel to the ground. It was unbelievable play. I told Tiki he was my first autograph I've ever gotten from any NFL player.
No kidding.
He was the first autograph I got. But I was one of those kids that I'm active. So I got that ball that we're playing with. So I got Tiki Barber to Simon, and we probably went right in the parking lot and threw it around, lost that ball probably 2 weeks later, right?
You don't have it.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Oh.
But I was one of those kids.
All right, but you can get another autograph now.
Right, you're right. I sign autographs all the time, and I know the ball that's going to be lost in 2 weeks.
Right.
I see it.
Right.
It already's faded already. And I look at the kid looks like he's going to go play with it right now. I was that guy. But then Kerry Collins was there. I forgot exactly where we were at, but I got to meet Kerry Collins. He was, at the time, the starting quarterback of the New York Giants. And I'm a Jersey kid. My dad is a big Giants fan. He's always been a Giants fan. So we had the little Polaroid cameras with the little, little wind-up deal. So for all of you younger Gen Zs, the Polaroid camera, you would take the picture. There was no screen. There's just like a little hole,
Right.
like you have on, most cameras still. And you couldn't see what you took a picture of, right? Until you got it, developed.
Right.
So I had my friend, I was like, bro, you got to get a picture of me shaking Kerry Collins' hand, right? So I'm not looking at him. I'm looking at Kerry Collins because I'm a kid. I'm like 12 or something like that, 13. And I'm like, wow, like Kerry Collins. And I gave him a good handshake. I knew how to give a good handshake back then. And I gave a good handshake. And then he's like, I got a picture. I was like, thank you, man. So then we developed the pictures, right?
Oh, no. Thumb in the screen?
No, listen. When I say take a picture of us shaking hands, that's the only thing he had.
The
He had
hands.
me and Kerry hands. That's it.
Oh!
There was nothing else in the picture.
Got artsy with it.
That was it. He did exactly what I asked him to do, though.
Oh, no.
But it was just our hands. Like, you could not tell it was my hand. You could not tell it was Kerry Collins. I said, man, that's some BS, man.
Oh, wow. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So when you got that film developed, it just must have crushed you.
I thought that was one of the pictures. So I'm like,
Right, where's the rest of
okay.
it? Oh.
Hold on, man, no way. I was pissed.
Kerry Collins, just looking up some of the numbers. So after the Giants had released him, went on to have 34 plus 100 yards with Oakland, then 3,700 plus yards with Oakland. So back-to-back seasons where, he played well, although the team did not fare well. And then after he went to Tennessee, actually led them to a 12-3 record. Only had, and this is funny, this goes to show you about how quarterback numbers can be deceiving. You do what you have to do to win, right? So in 2008, Kerry Collins makes the Pro Bowl, completes only 58% of his passes for 2,600 plus yards, 12 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. That team went 12-3
Wow.
under Collins.
What team was that?
Tennessee.
The Titans.
When
he was in Oakland, was he throwing to Tim Brown? Who was that out there?
Oh, I want to say it was.
Yeah.
It might have been the end of Tim's career. Was
Right.
Jet there at that point? I can't remember now. But the Tennessee Titans, very interesting. When you look at that stat line, it is incredibly unimpressive. Okay, to be
And what
fair.
year was that? You said 08?
2008. 2008.
I was at that practice. I was at one of those practices for the Tennessee Titans.
Really?
Michael Bullock was one of the linebackers. Michael Bullock, number 53. Kerry Collins was the quarterback. They had what was the safety name? He wore number 33 with dreads back then. But I remember going to a practice. I was at the University of Wisconsin at the time.
Okay.
One of my good friends, Josh Neal, we drove down. He was from Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
We drove down from Wisconsin to Nashville, and we went to go to a practice, and Kerry Collins was the quarterback.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Well, Kerry that year did lead the Titans to a 12-3 record. Vince Young was also on that team.
Vince Young, yep,
And Chris
he
Sims was the third string
Vince Young wasn't
quarterback.
playing, though.
No.
Because Kerry Collins was playing.
He started one game.
Yep.
And Chris Sims backed up and got in one game as the third stringer.
In
Okay.
Oakland, he had Randy Moss for 1 year.
There you go.
Randy Moss had 1,000 yards that year.
Okay, there you go.
Wow.
But so Kerry and let's not forget. Okay, remember Chris Johnson was his running back, over 1,200 yards rushing. Lendale White had over 700 yards
Lendale
rushing.
White, yep,
Okay,
touchdown.
so between the two guys, they were rushing for 2,000 yards in the backfield,
Right.
and Kerry only had to throw.
So you're saying the Tennessee team is still the same Tennessee team from back in the day?
power football.
Yeah, that was 15 years ago.
Power football.
Yeah, man.
Okay, but Kerry led them to a 12-3 record, which, folks, I'll bring it back to the present. Daniel Jones did not have spectacular numbers last year, especially in the touchdown pass category, but he played winning football. Of course, the difference is Kerry did not run. He
Right.
was a statue. Daniel does run, and
Yeah.
that's a big part of what the Giants do. But it's why we say all the time, don't put too much blame on the quarterback. Don't give the quarterback too much praise. It's all about, can he play winning football within the scheme of the system?
Yep.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
And Kerry was a damn good quarterback.
Yep.
Very underrated. Anyway, so that's Yeah, that's a little truth going back into retrospective. I was a Kerry Collins guy.
Yeah.
But then I became an Eli
I was
guy.
too.
When Eli proved that he was what he was, I was like, well, I'm all on board with this guy. And I stayed on board with Eli all the way through the end, as everybody knows, because I
Right.
got a lot of vinegar thrown my way during the last couple of years of Eli Manning, which I still don't understand. But, folks, that's your problem, not mine. 201-939-4513 is our phone number here on Big Blue Kickoff Live. All right, so it's already 1:15, believe it or not. We only got 15
quick.
minutes left in the show.
Hey, time flies when you're having fun, Paul.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm a little surprised we don't have some more phone calls.
It's all good.
on
Let's
this.
finish this up because I want to compare our stuff.
All right, so my point guard, believe it or not, is Darius Slayton.
Okay.
I went with the
Pearson's
call.
too.
I went with Pearson's pick of Slayton, but I got him playing the 1
Okay.
instead of the 2.
Okay. I put because I wanted length. I wanted some height here.
Yeah, and Slayton's only 6'1", 194 pounds.
I went
but
Colin.
quick.
I went Colin Johnson because he's a taller
Wow.
guy. And then when I saw him for the first time, I was like, he looks like a basketball player.
Yeah.
I when I saw him, so I like Daniel Jones and Colin Johnson as my guards.
Okay.
Yep, as my guards.
I thought about Colin Johnson for the 3 spot.
For the
But I
3
did
spot.
not go
I
there.
got somebody for the 3 spot.
I did not go there.
I guarantee we got the same guy for the 3 spot. I guarantee it.
All right, well,
I guarantee it.
so anyway,
I'm taking Aziz at my 2. Or I'm moving Slayton to my 1, taking Aziz Ojolari at my 2.
At your 2?
oh,
We're going to run out of height eventually, but
wow.
I'm taking the small guys now. I got to.
Well, if you're going to take Ojolari at your 2, are you worried about quickness? Because he can get quick to the quarterback, but I don't know about lateral movement.
I don't think you got to worry about him
All
with
these
his
guys are
quickness.
going to be under 6'5", I think, so I think we'll be all right.
All right, so Pearson, you got Ojolari and Slayton in the backcourt,
Yeah.
and I got Jones and Slayton, and you got
Jones and Colin Johnson.
Jones and Colin Johnson. All right, let's go to forward. All right, you want to go to the 3?
The 3.
All right, I got Lawrence Cager.
Okay.
You good with that?
I got Darren Waller.
See? I don't have Waller there. I got Lawrence Cager.
Very similar, though. They're very similar in builds. Am I correct?
I got Waller as my 4. I got Waller as my 4.
But I told you we got 2 so far. That's
Not
at
in the
least
same
2.
spot,
Not in
but
the
we
same
got him
spot.
on the team.
Right. Daniel
right?
Jones in the same spot.
Okay, well, who's your 4?
Though. Daniel Bellinger.
Ooh.
Yeah. Size.
Okay.
Physicality. You know what I mean? He's going to grab boards. He's going to go grab boards.
Oh, I think he's got a lot of Charles Oakley in him right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, bro, he broke his eye socket and was out here running around like the next day.
Yeah.
Tough guy. I think he's a tough guy. He's a guy that he can be my enforcer.
You remember when Lee played for the Knicks? He was a double-double machine?
David Lee recently.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking you said back. I'm thinking back in the day because you're always
Oh,
pulling
I'm
out
sorry.
stuff from back in the day.
I know.
Nah,
But
yeah,
David
no,
Lee
yeah.
was a
I know
double-double
that.
machine
Yep,
for the
yep,
Knicks for
yep.
a lot of years. Pearson, what do you got there? Give me your 3 and your 4.
Okay, at my 3, I'm taking Hottie. Just for he's going to be my Draymond Green. He's going to be gritty.
That's your 3?
Yep.
Okay.
He's 6'5".
Okay.
And then I'm taking Waller at my 4.
Okay.
Now,
so y'all had Waller at 4, right?
yeah. Now, just to give you a little numbers here, Cager's 6'5", 220. Waller's 6'5", 246. So that's why I had to look. Waller's got to be on the team.
Yeah.
He is
sure.
a specimen.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, this dude, I mean, you just look at him and it like screams gold medal.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there's anything that athletically he can't do.
Yeah. Like Cager looks more of a basketball player, more of a college basketball player. I think Waller looks like an NBA basketball player
Well,
right
because
now.
he's
Thicker. Solid.
He's thicker.
He's solid.
Well,
He'll be
we're
able
talking
to
about another 25
go
pounds.
in the paint and create his own shots, get to the foul line, make some free throws, play good defense.
Okay, so you know, I just figured, you know what, both guys at 6'5" for Cager and 6'6" for Waller. Did you have any other considerations at the 4 spot, or are those the guys you picked, the guys you really wanted, and there were no
I have a
alternatives?
6-man.
Because I did have
have.
Colin Johnson as potentially a 3, but I wound up going with Cager instead.
Right, and then Waller's your 4.
Waller's my 4.
I only put one extra guy. If I'm gonna say I would consider anybody, it'll be right now that I just considered him just now. So no, my 6-man. You know,
But we got to go center first.
but it's also my point guard. So
Okay.
my 6-man is also my point guard, and kind of the cheerleader, kind of like I can't think of his name. It just escaped me. Defensive player. He talks a lot of smack in the NBA. He played for the Clippers for a while. He played for a lot of teams. What's his name?
You lost me.
What's his name? Pearson. The guy, he has dreads. He's not a big guy.
Montrezl Harrell?
No. He's not a big guy. He's a guard. He's short. He guards everybody.
Beverly? Patrick Beverly.
Okay.
I got Sterling Shepard as my sixth man.
Oh.
Point guard, Patrick Beverly, get in your face, talk a lot of smack to you. And I would think Sterling's going to play some great defense for you.
I think he's yeah.
That's my
I can
sixth
see
man.
It. I can see it.
Also my point guard.
Pearson, did you have another possible forward that you were considering?
Let me think. You know what? I was debating between Ojulari and Kayvon, so I'll just put Kayvon as my
I was
sixth.
considering
as my
Kayvon.
sixth man.
Didn't put him on the list though.
Kayvon Thibodeau, yeah. All right, you know what? I might as well go with the sixth man then. Since I was really considering Colin Johnson at the 3, I'm going to use Colin Johnson as my sixth man.
Okay. Yep.
All right, so now we go to the pivot. We go to the 5.
5, the big guy.
I'll let you go first.
So, I don't know if we're going to have the same 5. But if we do, I knew it. I knew that we were going to have a lot in common.
Okay.
Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas. Close, but not the same.
Yep. I got Andrew Thomas.
Why?
At that position, that left tackle position, you got to be like a man. You got to be a beast. You're going against, I feel like, the defensive end pass rushers in the NFL are the greatest athletes in the world. You got to go against those guys. Sometimes, like the Eagles, they're bringing in fresh guys every play to go against you. And he's held up. Not only did he held up, he had an all-pro year.
Yep.
Meaning, technically, he's sound. Physically, he's sound. Mentally, he has gotten over that hump of not doing so well his rookie year. Now he's an all-pro player, and he's one of the best tackles in the league. So I think he'll be a dominant 5, grabbing rebounds, posting guys up on the block, and I think he'll dominate the block, especially against the NFL starting 5s.
All good reasons. All good reasons. We do have a call. So, Pearson, we're going to hold off on our choice for center until we check in with Tom from Long Beach. You are next on Big Blue Kickoff Live. Hello, Tom.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Here's my question. If we're going to have a really good season this year, and you had to pick between these two guys, and knowing one would have a good season, but one would have like a Pro Bowl level season. And the two guys I'm thinking about are last year's number ones, Thibodeau and Neal. If one of those guys has the breakout year, which one do you think would be more important for the team?
That's a really good question.
That's a great question.
It really, really is. Because I'm of the opinion that both of them need to ball out if the Giants are going to attack Philadelphia for first place in this division. Both guys will need to have stellar seasons. But if you said which guy would have to be great for them to inch closer or to be a playoff team again, I'm going to say Neal.
I think it was a great question, but I don't think it was a hard answer. I think it's Neal. I think it's light years. It's Neal. It's a
light years.
The reason why is because there's only 5 offensive linemen, right? You got to have a solid tackle on both sides. You have to, especially in this division with all these pass rushers that the Giants are going to face.
Yeah.
Now, for Thibodeau, we have other pass rushers. I think Ojulari is just as good as Thibodeau. Maybe not the guy that we saw at that Washington game when he had 12 tackles, 3 TFLs, forced fumble and a touchdown. I don't know if he could do something like that, but in Wink's defense, we talked about this before,
right.
You never really saw a double-digit sack guy.
Right.
So it's more pass rush by committee in this defensive scheme. But there's no hiding your right tackle. You can't hide him.
You sold me. It is an easy pick.
Yeah, you can't hide him.
I'm glad I said Neal.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom. Anything else?
Yeah, one more.
Sure.
2 more guys, okay? What about Banks or Waller? Same question.
Banks.
Tay Banks or Darren Waller, who needs to have a better year for the Giants to be good? Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy. You're talking about the rookie, right?
Yeah.
Banks, right.
Yeah, that's easy. It's got to be Waller.
It has to be Waller. Yeah.
That's easy.
Because you expect a little growing pains with the corner, with the young kid coming in.
All rookies have growing pains.
Right,
They go through ups and downs, and they have so many guys at corner competing for those snaps.
Right.
They could always have someone else playing there.
Right.
But Darren Waller, look, we all like Daniel Bellinger a lot. But Darren Waller is a 2-time 1,000-yard receiver, and he's gone to the Pro Bowl. He is a huge weapon for this offense.
Yeah. I think people are expecting the
Thank you,
most
Tom.
out of him. Out of anybody on the roster, I think the expectations are probably highest for Darren Waller out of anybody on the whole entire roster.
I mean, he
He's
is
the
a
highest
difference
paid tight end
maker.
in the league, right?
He's depends on which numbers you go by.
Right. But
But
when
he's
you're
an
one,
impact player.
when you're one of those guys,
Yeah.
and what we call elite players or blue players,
Headache players, as I
headache
call it.
players. I'm talking about blue. When you go to that chart,
Right.
for the scout team, when
Mm-hmm.
the defensive guys is going against his offensive guys, he's a blue player. He's the first person that you talk about. I mean, we got a couple guys like that. We got Saquon and we got
Well,
Daniel Jones as well.
Your
But-
blue players
what
are
up,
my
Bob?
headache players.
Right.
Same-
But
same
he's that guy.
Yeah,
You know, he's
for sure.
almost unguardable, right?
Totally agree.
Yeah, so he definitely needs it.
All right, Pearson, let's go to you for the center on the New York Giants basketball starting five.
All right. This was a tough one, but I'm going to choose Ellerson Smith, one of the taller guys on the roster.
6'7".
Yep, 245. He can definitely move. I think he could be a good facilitator, maybe a Jokic type. Yeah, I'm picking Ellerson Smith.
Jokic type. Nobody's Jokic type, bro.
I was just going to say,
Jokic is a-
how dare you
with my
disrespect the
coaching,
Joker?
with my
with
coaching.
his coaching. Oh, snap. Pearson throw himself in there. I like it. I like it a lot.
You know, with his affection for the Celtics, your team is sure to get knocked out in the first round.
Oh.
Easy now. Also, I wanted to give my legacy pick, but this is just because I was able to play with him one time.
Yep.
I'm taking Victor Cruz. He just dominated. We before COVID, we would play with the faculty, and then some players maybe would come through, and Victor Cruz was explosive as a basketball player.
He was. I know that for a fact. He was a very good basketball player.
I didn't know that.
That is
okay.
true.
I mean, he's from Jersey. You know, he's from Jersey.
Yeah.
Jersey guys be hoopers.
Yeah. I actually thought of Ellerson Smith and started to pencil him in, and then the little light went off in the back of my head. Matthew Parrott.
Oh.
He was a basketball player until he got to UConn. He was a
They
dominant
bulked him
power.
up.
He was a dominant power forward coming out of high school, and he got to UConn, and they suggested you try football, and they bulked him up and they made him a tackle.
Yep. Put him on the line, baby.
But he at his very
But
heart of hearts, basketball guy.
Didn't I say that earlier, though? I said there's going to be a guy that I don't know about. You knew about him.
I did.
That we don't know about, that plays on the line, that was 190 pounds in high school and was better than everybody in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like one of those guys that just did it.
So Matt is currently 6'7", 318, according to the Giants roster. When he was at UConn, I think he came in. Well, when they listed him as at football weight, they listed him at about 300. I don't think he was that when he got
When
there
he
for
got
sure.
in.
But at 6'7", he would also match Ellerson Smith as the tallest player on the Giants roster. So, Pearson, I applaud you because I was going to go Ellerson Smith, and then I remembered that Matthew Parrott had the basketball background. And quite frankly, if I didn't pick him, he would probably be very angry with me.
So we got 2 out of the 5. One Daniel Jones in the same spot and Darren Waller.
All right. So give me your 5 again.
My starting 5, I'm going to go from point guard all the way down. So I got Colin Johnson as my point, Daniel Jones as my 2, Darren Waller as my 3, Bellinger my 4, Andrew Thomas my 5, Sterling Shepard first man off the bench, but point guard.
Okay, and Pearson, you have?
I had Darius Slayton, Aziz Ojolari at the 2, Hadi at the 3. My 4 was I forget already.
Did you say Waller at the 4?
Yes,
y'all
I
both
took
had the same.
Waller.
Yes.
I took Waller at the 4, and then I had Ellerson Smith at the 5.
All right, so,
Solid.
So I went Jones at the point, Slayton at the 2, Cager at the 3, Waller at the 4, and Matthew Parrott at the 5, and Colin Johnson was my guy coming off the bench. The thing about it is, fellas, we know these guys, and we also know that a bunch of them have a tremendous amount of competitive juices. So if we threw all these names into a hat and said, all right, these are the guys that we think. I guarantee you there'd be 5 other guys in that locker room who think they deserve to be in that hat.
Absolutely. We used to always talk all the time. It was always linebackers versus DBs. And my DBs when I was here, it was Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Jack Rabbit, Eli Apple, and they just talked, Landon Collins, they talked so much smack. But we was very confident that we could run with the DBs in anything. Maybe not like a 4x1,
right?
But I told them, I said, if you let me run anchor, you better have a strong anchor because I can roll. And they all started doubting my speed like I wasn't the second fastest person in the state of New Jersey in 2004. You know what I'm saying? And then one game we was playing against Tampa Bay. Mike Evans caught a pass and he broke. And it was Brandon Mayweather and it was Prince Amukamara. They both were in the screen. I ran past both of them and I caught Mike Evans. So when we came back, DRC, I said, I told you DRC. DRC was like, I was trying to tell him that you can run because I could run. But those conversations of other sports, not football, because football, we don't talk about I'm better than you or nothing like that.
No,
Track, basketball, we're talking smack. I'm better than you. My team is better than yours. We'll run you. Linebackers will beat, I'm sure the receivers versus the running back, receivers versus corners. I'm sure that's a constant argument in the locker room all the time. Because there's really no way to prove it. They're not really going to go out there and play.
They put a hoop up here, like the old hoop at Giant Stadium, but it's in the field house where there's field turf.
Yeah,
so they can't really play.
Yep.
All they do is take turns shooting foul shots and 3-pointers.
Yep.
And that's not
real basketball.
No.
That's like going to what's it called? Golf. You going
mini golf. Yeah, it's not the same.
Golf. You can just drive and stuff.
Yeah.
You're not really playing golf.
All right. Anyway, hey, it was a fun show, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, throw the number down on a piece of paper, 201-939-4513. We are here every weekday live, 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time to talk Giants football. For Jonathan Casillas, I'm Paul Dottino. Remember, you can catch this show and all of our Giants programs on the Giants podcast platforms everywhere and giants.com/podcasts. We'll see you next time, everybody.